Police say the death of a 3-year-old girl in El Paso, Texas is being investigated as the city's latest murder. The toddler found dead in the parking lot of her apartment complex, inside the trunk of her mom's Dodge Stratus. A 5-year-old girl also at the home, now in the care of Child Protective Services.
I'm Mike Brooks in for Nancy Grace. A 3-year-old girl found dead in the trunk of her family's car in El Paso, Texas. And when we came to air tonight, we found out the 2 people have been charged. Francisco Castaneda, 25, the stepfather, and Jacqueline and Yara Perez, 25, the mother. For the latest, we want to go right out to Jay Coster. He's on phone with us from El Paso. He's the editor of the El Paso Times. Jay, what's the latest in this case?
Well, like you just said, the 2 arrests, the mother and the live-in boyfriend had been down at the police being questioned all day, and about 4 or 5 o'clock they finally charged those 2 in the girl's death.
When did this all start, and how were police called to the home?
About 11 p.m. last night, apparently the police got a call from a family member. It wasn't somebody at the apartment complex, but a family member called police and expressed worry that the 3-year-old child may have been in trouble. So police went out there, talked to those 2, couldn't find the child, so started searching, and eventually found the child in the trunk of the mother's car.
Also joining us by phone from El Paso, Texas is Javier Zambrano. He's the public information officer with the El Paso Police Department. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Zambrano.
You're very welcome.
Now, the original call, we heard just from Jay Coster of the El Paso Times that the call came from a family member. And the original call was basically, and it was dispatched basically as an unknown call. Can you kind of fill us in on that?
Sure. Many times when officers are responding to a call, we're basing it on information that's coming in from whoever's reporting that incident. The information we had at the time was not a lot, so it went out as an unknown problem at that location. As the officers were arriving, more information was being developed by the communication dispatcher, and so they were able to provide that. It actually was in reference to a welfare check regarding a 3-year-old child.
Now, who made the original call? Was it a family member or was it a concerned citizen?
As far as the person or the identity of the caller, at this moment, as I am aware, that person did not want to be identified. So I will not be able to really disclose anything to lead the identification of who called.
From being former law enforcement, I understand why you're doing that, because it's still early on in the investigation. Now, what are these 2 being charged with?
What they are being charged with is with injury to a child causing the death. Now, this is an offense under the assaultive category under the Texas Penal Code. It is a first-degree felony, meaning a person found guilty of this can face up to 99 years in prison and, of course, in addition to a $10,000 fine. Now, of course, it's still an ongoing investigation. We're still very fresh on there. What, of course, occurred here is through the ongoing investigation where we're able to reach a point combining the preliminary autopsy that was conducted, the interviews, and all of the evidence that led us to have probable cause to go ahead and now proceed with a charging instrument, a warrant, and arrest them for that.
Was there any visible trauma to the little girl that was in the trunk when she was found?
Yes, there was visible trauma, and there was trauma that was, of course, discovered through the preliminary autopsy, which, again, added to that probable cause.
I want to go to Ed Miller, America's Most Wanted. Ed, the statements, too, of the parents, were they conflicting? Did they confess to the crime? Do we know?
No, as far as I understand it, what happened is they go to the house. They're looking for the little girl. Mom says one thing, stepfather says something else, and that's what made him suspicious, and that's where they started searching the apartment and the car.
Javier Zambrano, Public Information Officer for El Paso Police. Did they give any statements? Did they admit to being involved in the death of this little girl?
I won't be able to disclose that. What I can tell you is, of course, we did take statements from both of these individuals. As far as right now, we still do have some questions that were answered, including the fact of how it is that little 3-year-old child ended up in the trunk of that vehicle. Those are still some of the unanswered questions that we have, but nonetheless, the evidence, what we observed at the scene, what the autopsy has told us, did, of course, lead us to that probable cause.
Jay Coster from the El Paso Times. Do we know if this guy Castaneda has any priors?
I don't know that at this time. I know they moved in that apartment about 4 months ago, but I don't know if he had any priors.
I want to bring back the lawyers from New York. Sue Moss, family attorney and child advocate, also in New York. Mickey Sherman, and out of Atlanta, Ray Giudice. Okay, you got these two stellar performers here. Ray, where do you start with them?
Well, you only get one each. That's a conflict. You can't represent them both. But in a case like this, whichever client I had, I'd look them in the eye and say, tell me the truth now, not 6 months from now. Tell me what happened, because we've got a dead child. Somebody's responsible, and I would go from there.
Sue, this is right in your wheelhouse, child advocate. What do you have to say?
What's their defense? They were trying out Brittany's new car seat. There is no defense. A 3-year-old is found dead in a trunk, and these people are going to pay.
Yeah, and here are the two stellar performers right here. Mickey Sherman, defense attorney out of New York. Any additional charges come down as the autopsy report comes back?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a race to the DA's office. That's what the lawyer's job is right now, to rat out the other one, no matter who it is. Because you're talking Texas. They kill retarded people in Texas. So the public sentiment here, you're going to see people with pitchforks and torches storming the police station to string them up. This is the kind of case that just absolutely infuriates everybody.